Man, I don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore with this whole non-domiciles in California shit anymore. Today is the 30th, and this is the second video that I'm making about California because earlier I was all happy for you guys, and I'm like, hey, California just got 60 days extension for non-domicile CDLs because they were saying that they're trying to figure out how to come up with a solution between DMV and FMCSA. Here's the post that they put, and here's a second post. You guys can look it up at the DMV California DMV website. Um, it's straight from the source, straight from the government. You would think based on that post that they're like, well, we're talking to FMCSA. We're trying to fix things. We're trying to come up with a solution, and obviously I was very happy for you guys, right? I come and I give you guys the news, get everybody rounded up, because this is coming from the DMV California, official page. So, but what happens? It is now 10 p.m. Mountain Time, and I'm informed that Mr. Doofy went on X and posted this right here. Bam. So now he's talking about that there's no extension, that Gavin is lying. At this point, I think I call him Mr. Doofy, right? But I know it's Sean Duffy. Mr. Doofy and Gavin should just get a room and work this stuff out because it's like egos, right? They keep playing. They're trying to see who has the biggest ego, and they keep playing with the lives and the emotions of people in California that they didn't fucking do nothing wrong, and that they are eligible for the CDLs and they're not here illegally, and they got them. Either we downgrade or we don't get downgrade. So now it's like so stressful. I understand. I feel bad for the people here that man, they got you guys going everywhere. So let me talk about this. What he put there. He put that California does not have an extension to continue to break the law and put the Americans citizens at risk. The whole reason California downgraded, revoked those licenses is because they didn't match the work permit. Their driver's license and their work permit does not match. These licenses have nothing to do with the EOP. These licenses have nothing to do with whether you're qualified or not. These licenses basically they were issued illegally because more of a clerical error. It was a clerical issue where the DMV gave the license longer than they should. Has nothing to do with their immigration status. Has nothing to do with whether or not they can speak English. So for him to say that stop putting Americans at risk, I'm like, right now we're living in there's a big agenda and they're just fucking around. You would think that based on the post from the DMV, that means hey, they're talking it out. They're trying to work it out. Hey, we're progressing here. We're doing something to make it better. But then you have this guy here contradicting the whole post, and I'm like, so now we don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think like basically let's talk about this whole situation. To the people that are against non-domiciles, I feel like the news has a lot to do with it. The news has a lot to do with it. If you look at this clip right here, I'm gonna play this clip for you from this Fox News. Right, they get this lawyer. First of all, the lawyer goes and says that immigrants are here legally. What the fuck? How can you be illegal and legal at the same time? And then he continues to go on and say, basically that again, saying that there's drivers that are overstaying their visas, and that Trump's saying no more. People are not overstaying their visas. It's just that the DMV, like we said, DMV has given the people the license longer than they should. So the DMV doesn't have the updated work permit information. That doesn't mean that the person didn't renew. It just means that the person hasn't went to give their updated work permit because their license expires in another 3 years or another 2 years. Which again, if DMV would have done his job right and gave the license matching with the work permit, they would have all the information and they will see that people are not overstaying their visas. Right now, they're just going off the data that the DMV has. So if I have a work permit for 2 years and my license for 5 years, after the third year, it's gonna show in the system that my work permit has expired, and then people like Duffy, people like the government, they're like, yeah, these people are overstaying their visas. But no, it's not. It's not that case. It's just that they don't have the updated information. I keep repeating myself because people don't listen and people don't understand. People are very selective to what they want to hear, and I will keep repeating myself. So if you see my videos, I will keep saying the same shit all over again. If I don't know, man, it's crazy that people keep saying that we're here illegally when we're not. People.
Counsel Sol Weisenberg. Sol, so great to see you. Nobody better to break this down for us. Obviously, we have seen the string of deadly crashes going back to this summer when that illegal immigrant truck driver in Florida did a U-turn, killing 3, in a string of cases that included more recently a Chinese illegal immigrant that had a CDL and an Indian immigrant that had a CDL. And in this case, one individual was killed in both of those, but the Chinese national and the Indian national had crossed the border illegally and been released under the Biden administration in 2023 out west in Arizona and California. Now we see this lawsuit. Do these immigrant truck drivers have a case?
Well, it's too early to tell, Griff, but I wouldn't put my money on them. Here's really the issue. They're suing California, and they're saying California made clerical errors. They're not saying at this point that there's a problem with the federal government, as I understand it. And here's how this whole thing started. There's a ton of federal transportation money going to the states. And the Trump administration came in and said, guess what? You have a lot of people driving with commercial licenses who shouldn't be. Illegal aliens or people who are legally here but don't have the proper status to be driving. And if you don't fix it, you're not going to get any transportation money. And so you have a guy like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, who is no fan of Trump, who canceled over 20,000 commercial licenses because they don't want to lose that federal money. We're talking about 73 million for the state of New York, 73 million alone. So here are the two main issues here. You've got people who are driving, illegal aliens or people with not completely legal status who are here, who have commercial licenses issued by the states, and those licenses haven't expired yet, but their status as legal non-citizens here has expired. And the Trump administration has said that's going to stop. And at first, Gavin Newsom was very defiant about it. And then he canceled 20 licenses, or he announced they're going to be canceled, I think, on January the 5th. And your second issue, as you pointed out, is people who are here, whether they're legal or not, they're of immigrant status and they're driving trucks and they are not proficient in English, which of course can cause all kinds of accidents. So
at the end of the day, people have to realize that there's a big narrative right now, and there's a big agenda, and people, I always hear people say fake news, but fake news goes both ways. I'm not no Trump supporter, I'm not no Biden supporter, I'm a me supporter. You know, these politicians, they live in mansions. It shouldn't be left versus right. It should be poor versus rich, and we're just trying to survive. But what I'm getting at is the way they're saying it. They're like, this person was caught and released under Biden. When they say caught and released, it's because asylum seekers, in order for that to work, they have to be in the U.S. So what happens? They cross into the U.S. and they purposely get apprehended. So once they get apprehended by the immigration officer, they say, hey, I want to request asylum. So then they have to be processed, and then they process them, then they leave them in the U.S., and they give them a work permit while their case is being reviewed, which takes many years. Some people say 2, some people say 5, some people say 10. It takes a lot. It's a big backlog, right? So then during that time, they give them a work permit, and that's how they're able to work. So people came and they asked for asylum under Trump too. In the first term, people came because that's just the way it worked. But the way they're saying it, it comes down to the phrasing, the wording they're using. Well, it was catch and release under Biden. Trump did the same thing because that's the way the process works. That's the way it is. Look it up. Under Trump, a lot of same shit happened, but it's just right now we got left versus right. We got Biden versus Trump, Democrats versus Republicans, immigrants versus Americans. And then my point as an immigrant, I'm not against you. I'm not against you. I'm not against America. But you know what? I'll keep doing these videos, and it is what it is.